of sleeper names that nobody really talking about the Pistons, and I'm gonna do a low cost, high value video, low cost, high reward kind of boom bust video with a couple guys. Might do a few parts to it for the Pistons, but De'Aaron Fox, nobody talking about De'Aaron Fox the way Dylan Harper hooping in San Antonio. They got to pay some of these young guys eventually. Nobody talking about De'Aaron Fox next to Cade Cunningham. I think San Antonio would love just to get the contract off for a little bit of nothing. He been in some bad predicaments. I mean, remember people were saying, well, he couldn't win in Sacramento. Ain't nobody won in Sacramento since Vlade and Chris Webber, Doug Christie, and Doug Christie, the coach. Shout out to Doug Christie. Okay. And then in San Antonio, he went there and they started winning, It's just that, the draft lottery fell that way for Victor Wembanyama. Castle was a great pickup. Vessel was, took some time Vassell took some time to develop. Keldon Johnson, they got rid of Sohan, cut him. It just had so many really good players. I think the coaching switch from Pop helped. So, I mean, De'Aaron Fox is a guy that, you could put next to Cade Cunningham and, I think that might be a good fit. How old is he? 28 years old. He'll be 29 in December. The contract, he signed a 4-year, $129 million extension. You're going to have to pay somebody. So he's making $49 a year, $49.5 a year through the next, what's this? They kick in next year. It's estimated right now, 49.5, 53.4, 57, 61. So it's up there. I hear people talking about, Devin Booker contract, which that, apparently that ain't nowhere near as bad as what they say Book contract is. So I'm gonna pull up Book contract. So yeah. Annual average of $72.5 million. Good luck with that. So, but hold on. So I'm confused. So he signed a 2-year deal. He has a 2-year deal for $63 and $68 million. 64, 69 rounding up. He's 32. Well, matter of fact, I don't know what's going on with this contract. Because it's starting off at 28, 29. So it's a lot of money. He's average of 72 point. So, with Fox, I think when you're looking at De'Aaron Fox, I think, it's a lot of money going forward. Obviously, guys like Zach LaVine, you can get for a year. It's and see what happens. You trade for this contract, you fully vested, and you hope it worked next to Cade Cunningham. This year, he's been a pro's pro. He stepped back this year a little bit. From 3-point land. He ain't a good shooter, so right then and there, that might make some hesitation right there, but he can score it. Like I said, it's a lot of risks, a lot of financials that's going to it for him not to shoot the ball well, but he can get to point A to point Z real quick. Good ball handler, good attacker, seem to have a good level head. I think he could be a really good defender in this system. But once again, his inability to knock down the 3-ball, it becomes a problem. Career percentage wise, he's 33%. He was 33% last year. Had some years where he was, below 28%. So that's the number one thing that's really stopping you. He was an all-star this year too. That's crazy. 18 points a game. 6 assists. The only thing that stops you from getting Fox is the point that you got Asar Thompson and Jalen Duren in the lineup. If you Asar ain't going nowhere, you get a stretch 5, it can work. But I think when you got lesser guys like Kyrie, you know what I'm saying? Cheaper guys like Kyrie, who is really it's starting to be a mark, but Kyrie's 34 years old too, so Fox is a lot younger. But when you start kind of looking at, the risk with Kyrie, as far as the capital that you're giving up, is less. He got 2 more years on this deal at around $76 million to combine. He had a player option for 42, a little bit older. You're hearing that the Wizards, the Vikings, not the Vikings, my God, the Timberwolves is pushing for him. I mean, but Fox, he gonna push the pace. He gonna get to the rack. But shooting is it's imperative with the Pistons. That's the only thing that you don't really like, that he can't really, the spacing is still not there. He's a fantastic scorer, quick guy. I think he could be an elite defender. Really good dude. I think in the locker room, the transition would be nice, but I think if you playing north of $50 and $60 million for a guy going into that contract as you creep, he got to be able to knock down a shot. You know what I mean? That's just the whole thing about it. Whether you building around Cade and Nassar and possibly Durant, we don't know. People just ran off with a clip where a buddy was saying that he wanted to bring Durant back, but it sounded like at the right price. You gotta have knockdown shooters. We hear Trey Murphy, Lauri Markkanen, and then when you start kind of thinking about the guards you want to put next to him, that's why Booker is such a popular pick. But not, at that price, that's going to be pretty expensive. Booker's a real popular pick, but that's why people saying, well, maybe Norman Powell. This is why you don't hear John Morant name in the mix, because even though John Morant, you can get him for a box of Cracker Jacks, and even without the prize in the bottom of it, he can't shoot the ball. It hasn't improved on shooting the ball. So you're looking for guys in the backcourt with, that's why you hear, me say Levine, a natural scorer who can shoot the ball at a high clip from the 3-point lane. You hear Tyler Hero, a natural scorer, can't stay healthy, but can shoot the ball at a high clip from that scenario. You hear Norman Powell, just a flat out bucket getter. This is why you're starting to hear these guys, Markkanen, Murphy, Levine, Kyrie, guys who can score. That's why you hear Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, people like, nah, he probably gonna fuck the locker room up, and that's fair. That's fair. But that's why you're looking for guys to be able to knock down shots. You might hear Kobe White name in the mix. But guys that can literally just get it. That can get it, man. Knock down shooters, man. And that's what they need. Knock down shooters. So but yeah, Fox is, realistically, let's say you bring in a guy that can stretch the floor at the 5 and Asar get a magic jump shot, that's fine. But at that price, you need somebody that can get it. But you rather look at a guy like McCollum. You rather look at one of them guys that can really already go ahead and get it. So let me know what y'all think. Check out the Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the love, support.